Okay, so today we're diving into something pretty interesting. Uh,
Yeah.
Crypto
Mm.
in Belgium.
Interesting market.
Yeah, definitely a new market, it seems like, for a lot of the big players.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, it's funny, right? Because you have some places in Europe, like obviously UK, Switzerland, where crypto is very popular.
Hmm.
But Belgium, like you said, totally new market.
And we've got some research here on OKX.
Oh, yeah. OKX, big exchange.
Yeah, they're making a push into Belgium. Just launched a platform there,
Really a full platform.
trading platform and a wallet.
Wow. Okay.
So we're gonna try to break down what this means for
The average Belgian.
yeah for you if you're in Belgium and listening to this.
Right. What does this mean for you as an investor?
Exactly.
So I think the first thing that really jumps out at me here is how they're actually getting into the market.
Right.
Because it's not like they went through this huge approval process with the Belgian government or anything like that.
Right. They didn't have to jump through a bunch of hoops. From what I'm reading here,
Yeah.
they're operating through their existing company.
EU company.
Yeah, they're EU company based in Malta,
Smart.
which is already approved to operate
Yeah, they're already good to go.
across the whole EU.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so even though they don't have
Direct approval.
direct approval from Belgium,
But they don't need it
they're still bound by those,
by all those EU regulations.
all those EU financial regulations.
Smart move, really.
So it's like they kind of sidestepped.
Kinda.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of...
Bureaucracy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And for the Belgian user, that's good news because it means you still have that same level of protection.
That's a good point because,
They're not just out there on their own.
yeah, you would think if they're going into this new market, they would almost have a less
Less
regulation, less protection, but
not the case.
not at all. It sounds like they have the same amount as anyone else in the EU.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's good for the users. Okay, so that makes sense from a regulatory standpoint.
Yeah.
But let's talk about like brass tacks. What can Belgians actually do on this platform?
Right. What are the services?
What services are available? What's it look like?
So it seems like they've got the basics covered, right? Spot trading, which is just, buying and selling crypto directly.
Okay, so just the classic buy low, sell high kind of thing.
Exactly. The bread and butter.
Got it.
They can convert over 200 different cryptocurrencies.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's quite a selection, so you're not limited in your options there.
And what about fiat? Can they actually?
Yeah, so they've got 60 trading pairs with the euro.
Okay, so euro is covered.
Yeah, euro is totally covered.
That's good because that's what they're going to be using, obviously.
Right, exactly. And they've integrated with Bank Contact.
I've heard of Bank Contact.
Yeah, it's a pretty popular payment system here in Belgium.
Yeah.
So easy euro deposits and withdrawals.
Okay, so they've made it pretty user-friendly
Yeah, it seems like they've really thought about the user experience.
to get people on board.
Definitely.
But now, here's the really interesting part. How will Belgians react to this?
Yeah?
Because what we're reading here, and this was interesting to me, it describes Belgian investors as, quote unquote, generally conservative.
Yeah, I chuckled when I saw that too, because how do you even define that?
Right, like what does that even mean?
What does that mean in practice?
Like if I'm sitting at home in my apartment in Belgium, what does that mean for me?
Right, exactly. So basically, from what I understand, Belgians tend to favor more traditional investments,
Okay.
like real estate, bonds, things like that.
Things they can see and touch.
Yeah, tangible assets, things that have been around for a while.
Things that feel safe.
Yeah, they're not as likely to jump into something super risky
Right.
without really understanding the potential downsides.
They want to do their research.
Exactly. They want to weigh their options carefully.
Right. And it makes sense. They work hard for their money. They want to make sure it's going to be safe.
Exactly. They're not just going to gamble it away.
Yeah. And let's be honest, crypto has a reputation.
Oh, yeah.
It can be pretty volatile.
Volatility is the name of the game with crypto, right?
You never know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Which doesn't exactly scream stability.
It doesn't really fit the conservative investor profile, does it?
Not really.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this whole thing so interesting, because when you consider that Belgium's crypto user penetration is still estimated at only 25%.
25%. So the vast majority have never even touched crypto.
Yeah, there seems to be a gap there
Huge gap.
between that perceived risk of crypto.
Yeah. And the preference for those safer investments.
Right. So it makes you wonder how all of this is going to play out.
Yeah, it's a fascinating question, right?
Yeah, like will increased access suddenly change their minds?
Will it make them more open to crypto?
Yeah. Or will they just stick to what they know?
Right, what they're comfortable with.
And how does regulation come into play here?
Oh, yeah, regulation's a big part of this whole equation.
Because Belgium has their own regulatory body.
They do, the FSMA.
Yeah. What does that stand for again?
Financial Services and Markets Authority.
Okay, the FSMA.
And they're taking steps to protect consumers, which makes sense given that conservative investor profile we talked about.
So what are they doing?
Well, one of the big things is that they've mandated that all crypto ads,
All of them.
all of them, have to include clear risk warnings.
Okay, like, this was risky, you could lose your money, kind of thing.
Exactly. Just making sure that people are fully aware of the potential downsides before they jump in.
Okay, so greater transparency, more information for the consumer.
Yeah, trying to protect people.
It does make you wonder, though, like, will people really pay attention to those warnings?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
We see warnings all the time.
People tend to gloss over them.
Yeah, it's like the terms and conditions, nobody reads those.
Exactly. So will it actually make a difference? Will it make people more wary, or will it actually build trust and encourage them to explore crypto, knowing that there are these protections in place?
Right, because maybe they'll think, okay, well, if the government's involved, it must be at least somewhat legitimate.
It's an interesting thought, right?
It really is, and it's hard to predict how people will react.
Human behavior is a tricky thing.
It is, and it's important to remember that this launch in Belgium is just one piece of a bigger puzzle.
Oh, yeah. OKX is making moves.
They're not stopping there.
Not at all. They just launched in the Netherlands, too, right?
Yep, and they've got their main EU hub set up in Malta.
So they're playing the long game.
Yeah, they're strategically expanding their presence across Europe.
Very interesting to watch this all unfold.
It is. So let's recap for a second.
Right.
We've got this major crypto exchange,
OKX.
OKX, making moves in a country,
Belgium.
Belgium, that's known for its cautious investors.
Very cautious, very conservative,
All while regulators are stepping in
trying to keep everyone safe.
to protect consumers.
A lot going on.
Yeah, so what does this all mean for you, the listener? What should you be thinking about?
Well, here's the question we want to leave you with.
Okay, hit us with it.
Given that preference for stability and security among Belgian investors, will this emphasis on risk warnings in crypto advertising actually accelerate or hinder adoption in the country?
It's a good question.
Will it make people more cautious, or will it actually encourage them to explore crypto?
Yeah, like maybe it'll make them think, okay, well, if they're being upfront about the risks, maybe it's worth looking into.
It's possible.
Maybe it'll just scare them away.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's a complex landscape with a lot of factors at play.
It really is. The crypto world's full of twists and turns.
And as always, we'll be keeping a close eye on Belgium to see how this all unfolds.
Absolutely. This is definitely one to watch.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
We'll catch you next time.
See ya.